Hi boys and girls, if you're watching this video then you need a few reminders about how to put the blocks away. When playtime is all over, the blocks should end up looking neat and tidy on the shelf just like this. All the blocks are lined up just right all the way from the top to the bottom, and you see right here the blocks are all touching real tightly. This is how the shelf should look when cleanup time is over. If you look carefully at the picture, you're going to see that the blocks are different sizes. This block right here is very, very skinny, whereas this block is fatter. But that doesn't matter as long as the blocks are just the right length and they fit on top of one another, just like that. Here's a close-up of a very, very long block on the bottom and two very skinny blocks on the top. Block number 1, block number 2. But the length of the two blocks on top fit across the big block on the bottom. Right here, the little blocks meet in the middle and they touch so that the edge at the outer side is just the same as the block on the bottom. Here's another example of how blocks can fit on top of one another. This block on the bottom is one long length and the two blocks on the top are shorter, but when you push them together and make them touch in the middle, then they are the same length as the block on the bottom. And here's one last example. This block on the bottom is a kind of a medium-sized rectangle, and the two blocks on the top are actually little squares if you hold them upright. When you get to the end of playtime, you're going to notice that some blocks just don't fit. We call these miscellaneous blocks. This block is called a wedge. Sometimes when we're taking a walk around school, we see wedge blocks that are holding the doors open. Here's a very little square block. Here's another little square block. And we have some blocks that have an arch that look like a bridge. A little bit hard to see the whole thing, but those blocks can just go in the crate. Can you see the blue around the edge here? That's a crate that sits on the bottom of the block shelf. So if you fit the blocks on top of each other just right, the block shelf will look like this when you're all finished. And Mrs. Flynn says, neat and tidy. That's the way we keep our room. That makes everybody happy, and then the next day we can find the blocks when we need them. On the next video page, you will see some boys actually putting the blocks away, so you can see how it kind of works and how they're sliding the blocks so they fit just right. Do you notice how the little boy is pushing the blocks and sliding them all the way to the edge? He's putting the little blocks on top of the big blocks, and then they look like they're the same size. And do you notice how the boys are working as a team? That really makes cleanup time much, much easier, and it actually goes more quickly too. Wow, they actually got that block set ready on the floor, and then they just placed it on the block shelf. Do you see how he pushed the block in that was at the bottom? It was sticking out just a little bit. And boys and girls, that's how you keep the block shelf neat and tidy, and you work together as a team, and then our blocks are always where we need them to be.